on the 17th.
Sorry, I have to record it, Antonia. Otherwise, we will
Okay,
start chatting, and I
so
will forget. Oh, so you did. Excellent. Good.
yeah, perfect. Oh, there are other people already, so that's great. So,
That's nice. Good luck with that. I'm
thank you so
excited
much.
for you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna look for natural healers there too, and yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be really nice journey. So,
Excellent. Excellent.
thank you.
Excellent. You're welcome. All right. So today, welcome everyone. Today we have snow outside. So it's exciting. But today I have all, I hope I kind of download all the questions that I didn't answer yet. And if you have any more, just put them now here below. If you are in Facebook group, you can put them below here in this video, or you can put it in a chat and I'll answer it here. And then when we can then as well, after I answer these, you can unmute and I can answer your question live as well. So first question was about oats. So oats can be tricky from a few reasons. So oats, I love oats, and I definitely have oats at the moment now when I'm in this maintenance phase, because you have a healing phase when you're really working on your body, finding your root causes, upgrading your biology. And in this stage, oats sometimes, not in every person, but it can be problematic because they can contain gluten, and if they are gluten-free, and you still have an issue, they contain avenine, which can really interfere with the hormonal health. So that's something that maybe you can explore. Another reason why we don't want to have too much oatmeal in the healing phase is because it spikes the blood sugar. If depending what all oats you're using, definitely the best are these steel cuts. Definitely don't use the, how you call them, the instant oats or anything in the bag, because one part of basket that we have to really look at is insulin resistance, is metabolic health. That's what I send you now, the roadmap that I created this morning, because I said I have to create some roadmap so you understand like what it needs to be really a look at if you really want to heal properly. And so insulin resistance is a really big chapter, and oats can really trigger this because it can produce more insulin. And when you have more insulin, you can be in inflammatory state again. And not only that, but it can create more cravings again. So you're doing this sugar roller coaster. Insulin is high in blood. So, it can create inflammatory state. And and oat milk is something that I would just not use at all. So use other milk like almond, cashew, macadamia, but don't use oat milk because the oat milk is like, it's really spikes sugar so much. I tested so many times, and not only me as well. The CGMs, the company, that they now have so much data, and they can all saying that oat milk is something that really spikes the blood sugar. So that's regarding oats. Otherwise, how I eat oats is that I either have 1 tablespoon if I'm doing smoothie and I want more kind of carbohydrates there, or so really amount is critical, and what kind of oats it is, obviously. So I have raw oats here, organic from in the US. I was buying from the farmer, and you can do oatmeal if you add a lot of protein and fat. So if you put almond butter there, and then you can as well, with oats, really berries are good as well. Berries are excellent. So that's the oatmeal. So otherwise I put all kind of, I'm looking if I have the recipe that I can share with you, but I will not share it here. I think in the chat. No, I can't share it in the chat. Okay, it's here, but I can share it later how I do my oatmeal in the Facebook group. And I put it in an email because it's really important how we prepare the oatmeal, because it's really influence the blood sugar spike, and we don't want, we can have rolling hills, but not mountains, not the high. And the oatmeal really contains the compound which lowers level of sex hormone binding globulin, the SHBG. And that means that there's more testosterone available in our body, which can mean that we, especially those who are as well prone to acne, that's really, which rosacea, it is not really acne, but this can be one of the drivers when we have a flare-up. Ghee is absolutely acceptable. Shannon, ghee, I love ghee. Ghee is wonderful. And if you know that it's really processed well from the good source of butter, you can make yourself as well at home. It's really easy. I just always put 5 butter, full fat 5 butter in the large pot. And then I boil the butter. And in the beginning will be a lot of foam. And then I wait. I will simmer it a little bit. That is not burning. And then I will see it will be clear suddenly. It will clear up. The butter, like the liquid, will clear up the fat. And then on the bottom you will have the protein. So it will kind of it will detach. So it will be protein on the bottom. It's like fluffy white stuff, and the fat will be in the pan. So what you do is you will sieve it. And then you put it in a jars, sterilized jars, so it's not contaminated with anything, because then you can have mold in the ghee and so on. So you in sterilized jars, and this ghee will stay for like very long time. And it's really great. You just sieve it really. I do through the paper napkin, paper tissue in the sieve, and that you really have clear ghee. And it works like I teach so many of my friends, and they not doing anything else, just ghee, because olive oil is problematic. The thing with olive oil is that it can't be really used in a high temperature. So when I'm roasting vegetables, I don't put any oil in it, like carrot and all these, pepper. It bakes well, and then I put olive oil when it's finished. So it's like it feels really, it tastes really good. So I hope on oats, that's I have a note here. I will the oatmeal, I put really everything that I have at home. So I had it so flax seeds, hemp seeds, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, everything that I have at home, I would just put it on the oatmeal. And I put some blueberries, some almond butter, and that's it. That's really good. It will always spike my blood sugar, but not as much as I will just have raw oatmeal, or just with maple syrup. Like, don't use, if you are in healing phase, avoid, like, we really have to stop sugar for a few weeks. You can go back to honey and maple syrup, but like we have to stop gluten, and it's really important because then we just we'll be doing the half good job. So what I'm not sure I can join. I'm not sure I can do elimination diet, because my husband and girls, my kids, they don't obviously do that. So this is something that we do really in the program. There is 1 month we're talking only about elimination diet. So we have 4 sessions only on elimination diet, and we talk about that. If I can tell you here in a few sentences. So yes, of course, it's challenging, but it's manageable. I mean, I did it myself many times when I did all my routines that I'm doing. You just have to do a little planning ahead, and that you manage everything. If you plan ahead, you really can do a lot of things without any really stress. So important is, like, you have to create a plan for yourself, which you will have. If you join the program, you will have a plan in place. If you don't, you have to just create a plan for yourself. Like, I'm doing this today, tomorrow, and like, you always make sure. That's why we always talk about SMART goals, because you have to always choose a small goal, and then you succeed. If you say, I will not eat sugar for 1 month, you will probably fail, because it's just too huge goal. You have to go small, and the best is really to divide a day. That's how I did it. Divide a day in the segments. And so I would wake up and say, okay, thank you, new morning, fantastic, I'm alive. And then, okay, I will not eat sugar until 10 o'clock. Okay, now I fast, but when I was really addicted, hooked on sugar, I would say, okay. And it can be with anything. It can be with all kind of this addictive food, like if it's chips or anything that we know it's processed food. And so at 10 o'clock, then you would say, okay, what I'm having for lunch. So you plan for lunch day ahead. And then that day you will always know in case you're hungry, what you will eat in a 2-hour window, because that's why the hormone, the ghrelin, leptin, that's how we always have it. If we eat the wrong food, we will starve or have cravings in 2 hours. So we have to kind of be smart and like, okay, body, I know you. If I don't do that, the body will ask you to do something else. So we have to be always prepared in the beginning. I'm not talking like forever, but in the beginning, we have to really help the body to be doing a good job. And so plan is absolutely critical. So you will plan yourself. And then I tell you example, if you have a breakfast or not, you prepare your own, and then you can just help your family have their own. And if you're cooking dinner, which is most of the time most problematic, I tell you, so you make meat, maybe some vegetables and some sides like some potatoes and rice. So you can have meat like the rest of the family, vegetables like the rest of the family, and then the side, just you will give it to your family, and you will not have any, because now again in the healing phase, if there are sides like chips or too much rice or potatoes, whatever a side is, or pasta. But for example, yesterday, it was a classic example. I was thinking about you about this question because I was cooking yesterday. We have leftovers of the big lamb, a lamb shank, like big lamb leg, and so I was cooking it over the weekend, and then I have all these bits of meats. So I was doing kind of some casserole with vegetables, and I wanted to put cream at the end for the kids because they would love the consistency if it's creamy. At the end, I didn't have a cream in the fridge, but I would normally take for myself out from the pot, put it on a plate on the side, and then I will finish the meal. I will put rice in it or whatever for the kids and for my husband. So like I talk about all these variants in the program, but this is like, it's really not that difficult. It's really, you just have to be a little bit more creative and put intention into this, and everything will be possible. As well, we talk about when we're going out, what to eat if you are on an elimination diet. Of course, the most important is to really, I think it's good to avoid for the first 2-3 weeks to go any like socializing for 2 weeks. I think it's quite possible to do. And so I hope it, I'm not sure now who asked that, but I hope it answered your question. So lemon, water, avoid decay. So yeah, Sarah was talking about it. I'm not talking about really squeezing like a whole lemon in the water. I'm talking, this is like a half liter, and I'm squeezing, there's like few drops, like maybe 4 drops in the whole glass. So I'm not expecting, like I didn't develop cavities after 10 years doing this. There is research that we suppose not to do that because it's really not good for the teeth. But if you don't I think it's much worse the processed food, honestly. I think drinking this the very diluted is, we don't want to make a lemonade like some of you said. It's too much lemon. No, we would just want to have a little bit. So I think that's like, find a balance that will not be bad for your dental health, but it will be still good enough to really start all the digestive processes that we want every morning. If you don't want to, if you can't have lemon or lime, you can always use the apple cider vinegar. That's option as well. So I think Nadine, I think asked about the histamine. So yes, so sometimes we will have histamine intolerance, but again, we can support with detoxification, and we have to really look at the gut health, and maybe eventually, if it doesn't help, do some testing, but it's all manageable. We can really, always, it's a quest and really finding why I have that. So always, if something, whatever it will happen, it's like, why is that? And so and immune system, the majority of immune system is in your gut health. So if your gut, you will put your gut in a better place, everything will get better. Not only rosacea, but everything else. You will be less sick. You will have less fatigue. Your body body composition will be better because you will just the biology will be just better functioning of the body. So yeah, the crackers, I love doing the crackers, and of course it's like they are never the same, because when you will learn me when you will kind of interfere with me more, you will learn that doing this program, the hardest bit was creating the recipes and give you exact amount because I'm not cooking from the exactly by the recipe. So it was the hardest for me because oh my god, I have to measure it. How much did I put it in there? And this is a typical example with the crackers because I always put whatever I have, but I found that this combination is the best. Like I really love the sesame seeds there. We know that they are really rich in calcium. So some of you told me that you're scared to go dairy free because you're worried about osteoporosis. So vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, they're all fantastic minerals for your bone health. By the way, for bone density, you have to really start doing exercise, especially in our age. We have to do is really heavy lifting to really protect our bones and build the muscles. We need to build the muscles because that will help us to protect the bones. And because we know that when we get old, we don't want to end up with sarcopenia. All these old people, when they can't stand up from the chair because they have no they have no strength, and we know that strength comes with the muscles. So, and again, it's another rabbit hole, so I go back to my questions. So yeah, so you bind the seeds with the hot water. That's it. There's no it's really magic because of the flax seeds, and chia seeds will do that too. But I didn't put chia seeds that time, but flax seeds, sometimes you can use flax seeds instead of eggs. They bind so nicely. So that's it. Just the hot water, like boiling water, that will do. Some of you ask if you can eat organic corn. So organic corn is fine. Obviously, I would take it out in elimination diet in that 1 week and then put it back maybe as a first ingredient, first food to add back. Because not only if it's organic, it's fine because then it's not GMO most likely, but corn contains lectins. And lectins can again aggravate your gut lining. And this is something that we work on. So it's again, it's very complex and we have to always think. So I would, corn is okay when you found your triggers, you found you are on the right track to your root cause. And so you can then have a corn. Oh, and I have used I can't read my own writing. So Dr. Lighting is yeah, I tell you a funny story. So because we moved here into UK, I had to buy a new car and I filled the form for the purchase. And he said, "Are you doctor or something? I can't read this. What you wrote?" And I said, "Yes, I am." So we had such a laugh. I think it's hilarious. But my handwriting was so nice when I was in elementary school, and now what happens with it, I don't know. I think it's just with the profession. Anyway, so I have here, wants to mention that sometimes as you get better, you can get worse at something that I see so many times. So if sometimes people go kind of on your journey to healing, you sometimes go worse, and it's really normal. So this the body is kind of eliminating stuff, and so it's just keep going. If you are not, if you are doing the good action steps towards healing, just keep going. Don't be discouraged from this, because oh my gosh, if I really regret that I didn't took pictures of my patients. I didn't took pictures of myself when I was I really do regret it, because oh my gosh, I would tell a story really. But it's maybe I'm start doing it now, so there will be some results visible. So so avoid oat milk. Yes, and yeah, and one of you asked about the polycystic ovarian syndrome. So this is something that it's linked to metabolic health. We know that. So I would suggest, well, I cannot advise anything, but what if, in general speaking, if I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, I would immediately cut sugar and all the carbohydrates. I would work on metabolic health, because then you need to work on liver, you need to work on a gut, you need to work on a lot of things. You probably need to lose weight as well. So, and it's possible to really improve it in many cases. So Yeah, so that's what I will do. So, and rosacea, it's linked to any inflammation. So yes, of course, if your body is out of balance, then obviously uh, rosacea would be showing up. And like, this is something that I'm working on now. I wanted to kind of explain to you why we have to go as deep in the body, but I hope I will explain that you really understand like what the journey, what your healing journey can be. So why we eating food? We're eating food for energy. And very often, sometimes we can feel like fatigue, and we can like we even eat food, but we are tired. And it's because our mitochondria are not working efficiently. Rosacea is very often, as well from Ayurveda, it's a toxin stagnation. And it makes sense because something that I'm not talking about, but I'm talking extensively in the program, is toxins from environment. You cannot imagine how much toxins we have under our in our kitchen cabinet, under the sink. Like, we really have to throw everything away because this is really creating so much damage. There is this environmental group. I can send you share the website. You can study it. You can really look at it if this is something that you aware. We have pollutant in the air and households. It's really bad. So this is something that can as well, and rosacea is one. That's why many of people suffer from these toxins that are sitting in our matrix. And that's why I want to tell you, because so we eating this food. This is something that we do so many times. We do that 5 times a day minimum, right? So we eat this food. Now the question is, are we eating good food that will help us to upgrade the biology of the body? So that's the one question. Are we eating good food, or are we eating processed food and doesn't have enough the protein, the carbohydrates, and the fat, the micronutrients that. And then the other question is the phytonutrients, the fiber for the gut microbes. So that's why it's like, is the food good, is the one question. And then another question is like, can we absorb, can we really take it in from the gut, or we just, like I told you, the Japanese scenario with the seaweed. If we have seaweed, we take it in and we poop it out. But Japanese, because they have special gut bugs, they can take all the good stuff from the seaweed much more than us, because they are equipped with the gut microbiota, because they are like, their ancestor, they have this because that's what they were eating. And then another question is this going to the bloodstream? If we eat this good food, is this going to the bloodstream so that can help our tissues, our cells to operate? And then what's going to the matrix? Matrix is something that is kind of in between the organs, underneath the skin, where all the like the tissue, where the nervous system goes. And this, when is a stagnation, when it's not properly nourished with the blood and with the and as well, this area, the matrix, is influenced by the autonomic nervous system. That's why the stress management is very crucial when you want to improve your skin, because if you are stressed, it's a sympathetic response. It's nothing goes anywhere near to the ending of the, it all stays in the heart, that you ready muscles, so you're ready to run. We have to operate in the parasympathetic, the restorative. That's why we have to learn how to breathe. We have to learn how to really go back and meditate. It's something that you have to learn. It's a skill. To breathe well, it's a skill. So if we have a stressful life, of course we can't heal, because the matrix is all like toxins sits there and they can't go. This lymph is not stagnating. It can't go really. It's complex, much more than this. But I just want to kind of give you idea how the processes are. And then like a question is like, how much goes into the cell itself? Because if we eating all our life, hamburgers and fries, and then we have chips, all these trans fat, and this some people, they have it for years and they say, oh, I'm not eating sugar, but I eating all these trans fats. This damaging the membrane of the cell. So of course that will be another reason why we might not my body not operate correctly. And then what goes into mitochondria, if we have nutrition deficiencies, we will not do the processes same in produce energy if we have some deficiency, because we know that like vitamin D or magnesium, we need it for like 300 enzymatic reactions in the body. So it's something that those are the basics of biology. And if we have rosacea, it's obviously something really out of balance. And this is the processes you have to go through it and see, okay, is this again a personalized approach? Is it something I zoom in, or or it's something that I don't need to be busy because I know I'm eating a lot of vegetables, you know what I mean? So this is kind of to explain to you that it's a journey. It's not something that you do for 3 weeks and then you heal. It doesn't work like that, because we already passed that, because we developed this chronic condition. I was bloated before I have rosacea. I had symptoms already before I have rosacea, and I ignored it. And now I had the rosacea. So that's the thing. So symptoms, we can think and really like thinking. So rosacea is symptoms is part of disease, or it's something that we have to like look like what's going on. Should I pay attention? And I would really advise anyone who is here to really always see symptoms like, oh, I have to pay attention. Something is going on, because like a cold, a simple cold, we have to empty the nose, because this is how we are emptying the toxins from our nose. This is the way how the body is kind of helping us to get rid of it. And so and when we have them symptoms afterwards and we don't take care of it, we don't rest, then that really can have consequences. So there's the same thing is with this. What we have, I'm sure we had, maybe you don't remember, but I don't remember either, but I'm sure it was something that was like 10 times. Same as with people with heart attack. I see it's the same with any chronic diseases. They have events beforehand. They have this amaurosis fugax, which is in eyes, so you suddenly don't see for a few seconds. And that is actually stroke, a little mini stroke. So, and we know that is happening all the time. People ignore it, and then they have heart attack and they possibly can die. So it's something that we always have to kind of look up like, okay, symptom, great, I have it. So what should I do? What should I do? Always, always, always. All right. Yeah. And last question actually here, it's flushing. So flushing is something that I think you have to, so from my experience, flushing is something that we have to, it's hormones involved, and we have to work on the sympathetic, parasympathetic, to really work on the, on the nerve system, on the vasculature, on the cardiovascular health. And that's something that I'm really, we can really reduce the flushing massively. I used to flush all the time, and I have everything. I had flushing, and then when I would it was as well like inflamed. And I have a patient actually when I used to work actually here in England. There was one lady. She was really, she didn't believe. She kept coming for the drugs, and then one day I don't know what happened, but she started listening. What she asked me questions and say yes, we can do that. And then really she has like a different life, because she was able to really do some inner work. And it, as I, yesterday I started crying, because I know it's hard, it's not easy, and I know how much it hurts. But we have to, if we want to work on this as well, because we all have to work on this. We all might have some emotions that are not resolved, and even trauma sometimes, and we have to resolve this. So we really operating not only in sympathetic and but as well as parasympathetic, and that we can heal, we can be in this space where the body can do the stuff. If we run all day errands and we are like go, and then we like go to bed, we have a like dinner, like the body has no chance to kind of do stuff. So yeah, it's you can definitely reduce flushing using these principles basically that we will be doing, especially doing really meditation and really calming down the system, so the matrix can kind of have the better vasculature, and can get the toxins can go away. Okay, questions here. I hope it was clear. I draw it here, but it's not. It's very small. I will do better picture for you. But this was kind of. I just realized that this will be really good explanation. That we have to really go through many things to really get into the when we can really optimize everything. Nadira saying, I just wanted to know what can switch with oats. So, there's so many options for breakfast. If that's what you want for breakfast, you can have oats, but just small amount. And maybe oats are good with you. It's very difficult to judge like this and give you advice. But if you don't want to have oats for some time, you can have if you can have eggs with some with some greens, or you can have with avocado, or if you can have avocado, again, it's like it's very difficult to advise, but so those are the options. Either sometimes I even do some, like, I sometimes have a leftovers for breakfast, for lunch, kind of, because I fast usually until 10 or 11 or 12. And but you can, instead of oats, you can have just yogurt, your choice of yogurt. If you don't dairy, you can have coconut, and you can have blueberries on it, you can have seeds on it. This is great example of really nourishes breakfast. Or you can have smoothie. I will share with you some recipes this afternoon. I will put it in the email and the Facebook group with some recipes of smoothie there is as well. Okay. What do you feel about goat dairy? I consume full fat plain goat yogurt. Good for you. Each morning with soaked roast seed nuts. Very good. A cup of blueberries. That's excellent. Looks like good breakfast. Love this breakfast, but wondering if this is good. Yes, I think goat is good. It's not something that I ever ate, but I have tendency to try a few times. But I think I have to explore it. But I know from the data that it's okay. It's okay. The cow dairy usually can cause a trouble, but especially in the rosacea patient, there is something really that, like, in a maintenance, when you already heal, you can go back to it and have it maybe twice a week, or like if you put a little milk in a coffee, nothing will happen. Same with chocolate. Like, chocolate can really sometimes trigger, even if it's like, the best of the best without the soy lecithin, but it can trigger sometimes. But when I have a chocolate, nothing happens. So, and as well with other people, I know that, like, if they already are over that, they know that triggers, and they know that they can't have that whole, because still you would just have little symptoms that that's like, okay, I don't go there. You will not develop the inflammation overnight. This is process that probably happened, and something just tip it over. So the body was already in kind of state of inflammation. All right. Wait, I have actually a question on other side. Sorry. Yeah. So here is, I have 3 questions. Sorry about that. I forgot. With if it's movement, good. I have movement, I have about program, and then I have about a COVID vaccine. So with COVID, difficult to say. Very difficult to say if it's related. There are no studies at the moment, but as I'm open, everything is possible. Everything's possible, and so, but that's a history. Now we have to find out, like, okay, what's going on, that this was the tipping point that happened. So I would leave this open. You have to explore this more. About the program, so yeah, you can sign up this week. There's 8 places left. For 3 people who sign up first from today, I have bonus that we can create one-to-one extra session, and we can explore this roadmap, and I see what you want to start with. Because some of you, if you have really IBS, if you have eating good processed food, we start with the diet, obviously. But if your diet is pristine and you really stress all the time, we start with the stress management. And so this is something that that's why functional medicine, we always use the SMART goals. So we really, what we say, you will plan to do, I will hold you accountable, and you will do it. So that's basically how the bonus works. And the program works. We're starting 13th of April. And we will be coming together every week where we will have yoga meditation and then me being like this with you for sessions. So the session will be Q&As with some content. We will be talking about it, but then you will have the portal where it's already so many sessions. So I always send you a link to watch the video. And then I will, if you missed the video or something, I always can give you like, okay, watch this, do that, like pinpoint the important stuff. So it's really kind of, I don't want that someone will need to spend a lot of time kind of exploring things. I want to give it to you like in a silver plate. And that's the point why I'm doing this. And as I told you yesterday, this is my mission. I'm so driven because I know how much pain there is, and I don't want that anybody suffering. And I think that's why the prices is all very affordable. I want that there is no barriers, and if really for someone even that is difficult, that I give one scholarship, full scholarship. So write to me back if you, but I need people who are committed. Like that's the only requirement, that you really believe about what I'm talking about and you want to do the work, because that's only way how you can really, like, because you will do the work, not me. I can give you a hand and guide you and give you all much love I can and all the knowledge I know. And if I don't know something, I will have a look or I will invite guests. But you will do the work, and you have to have really the passion and the drive to do that. And that that's something that I hope you have. Well, you are here, so I guess you have that. and yeah, so that was the question, how it's run. So I don't know, there's a lot of information as well on the page, but really it's like we go through so many things. You will be equipped for life, because this will as well help you not only heal rosacea, but it will help you as well kind of going older and really kind of live this really flourishing lifestyle, that you know that it can influence as well your aging process, that we can really slow it down, because all the processes that are working to heal rosacea are actually the processes very similar that we make the body kind of, we stop the clock a little bit, or make the clock go slower, because all the things that we will go through, the gut health, the metabolic health, the detoxification, the anti-inflammatory diet is like over 100 recipes. And they all kind of easy to make, because I don't have time to spend time in the kitchen. So they all kind of easy. And the stress management is big pillar. So if it's for you, if you really want to explore the nutrition, that's something that you learn a ton. If you want to really work on the stress management, and it's something that that's really good reason to join as well, because you will be in other place. It will help you a lot. And yeah, so this will be my invitation for you. And if now I have really no more questions. That's it. So I have a few more minutes. So if you want to unmute, and you can really ask me anything. So Sarah is saying, what if you already have stool test, etc., and know something is off? Yeah. So tell me more, Sarah. If you know something is off, that you know that you have to work on a gut. Basically, that's it. And you can actually find it as well by eating the sauerkraut, because if you eat sauerkraut and it's like you are bloated and you have pain in your tummy, that means that you have to work on the gut as well. Like for everyone to who is here, those are the things that we know that we have to start with. And gut health is something that I had to start with. Like I was hooked on sugar, on chocolate especially. I have tried with another practitioner and was completely overwhelmed with the recommendation of supplements, vitamins. I know it's very common that functional medicine will give you all the supplements. I had it same when years ago, when I was not yet functional medicine practitioner myself, and I spent like 400 for the session with the doctor, and it was in the US, and yeah, it was the same thing. I spent like another 300 for the supplements that I then really had a hard time to take, because I don't believe in supplements. I do believe in supplements if I know I need to take them, but you can argue that, yeah, well, your gut health needs to this care, but I believe that we have to eat food first, and then if it doesn't work, like you can sub, because I have so many times had a people that they just overdid it with the, because if the liver needs care as well, and if you take so much supplements, it's just too much for the body. So I always kind of like to start slow and really focus on eating well, and then supplement, because I told you, the one girl I had, she started doing glutamine, and she just vomited immediately. So it's and I know that people are overwhelmed sometimes with supplements. So I don't know, I understand this, and I was really, and I understand why I would take it, but still I was overwhelmed. So I would think really just gut healing can be as well from food that you eat, that you prepare for yourself, and be really conscious how you eat. How you eat is something that, oh my gosh, it's so important. Not only what, but how, because it can be many ways how we eat. So you have to be in this, again, parasympathetic mode if you're eating. Otherwise, you don't really using the food at all. You can have a kale all day long, but if you stress all the time, you might not even take it in. So sorry, saying, I know my body does not do well with massive change overload with vitamins. So it was very overwhelming. Yeah, my stool test showed I had presence of a pylori, but within range. Okay, so yeah, Helicobacter pylori is very typical for us. But again, I mean, you can do things that can really help you to. We can treat it, but as well you can do stuff that can really improve the. We can we can heal the gut, so you will have less symptoms until you know what is really going on more, because usually it's few more things. If it's gut off, we have to work on the liver, we have to work on the lymph, so it's few things. But yeah, I understand the supplements. I'm not big keen. I'm keen on those, like the big ones, the vitamin D, and have one a multivitamin, because that's something that we know that we are really deficient. Or magnesium, yes, if you have cramps, or if you have, like, twitchy eye, immediately I would tell you, okay, have magnesium. But otherwise all these powders, and yeah, we have to I don't know, we have to start slow, but still, there are practitioners that they have great results with this. But I think you have to be a type of person, this like military type of person that really do, as I told you before, like they have a plan for the day, and they have a box, and they just like do literally everything planned during the day. So that way, then you will, because you can still do that. Like you can take the supplements as I told you, right? So one supplements will be 3 times a day, twice a day. And so, but yeah, usually when we are moms, and I don't know what your story is, but like it was like I can't do this. But I was younger, I was as well, like I will do it now if I need to, but it's overwhelming for sure. You're welcome, Sarah. So anyone questions? I will still be in the group this week until Sunday. If you have any questions, I can go, and if I see it's better to answer with like this, I will go live in the Facebook group. You can see the video later, or I can as well send this into an email if some of you don't have Facebook. But this group, Facebook group, is like pop-up group. I did this once last year, this workshop, and I don't know when I will doing the other one, like next one. So it's kind of, it's like my heart project. So that's why it's not something that I do regularly, but I want to keep supporting you. But really, for those who have enough, and who likes to do, who really wants to do some healing and really learn about your body, basically, I will really encourage you to join the program, because you will learn a lot, really a lot.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I have
Antonia,
one
hi.
more question. Hi, because of the cold, like the cold weather, and if your skin is already like, fighting all the time, and then you go out, and basically what I discovered also about the neurogeneric rosacea, it's like when you have problems with your teeth, like all the nerves are exposed to everything that touches, is like on the same as like with the skin, like if you have like all the nerves are, so every time the cold happens, which I cannot avoid, so it's almost impossible,
Yeah.
right, to in that
Mhm.
situation to
Mhm.
heal, like
Mm.
really. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you think? That's
No,
because it's a
that's
huge trigger.
yeah, that's basically when I was telling about the matrix, like that's things that is like between the vessels, between under the skin, is between the organs, is under everywhere is the matrix. That's where the lymph sits, all the vessel sits, the vasculature, the nerve sits, and if that's stuck, because that space is regulated by the autonomic nervous system, and if we stress all the time, it doesn't flow. So all the endings, our end of the hands, our nose, our and the eyes, the brain, the skin, the endings, they don't have enough nutrients, they don't have enough blood. So that's why we have like cold hands, cold feet, cold nose, and it's very difficult to do anything with it unless we support this system with the breathing, with going to the parasympathetic, so you can really have a like more nutrients coming to the places where are required. So in the skin and the face and basically everywhere. But that's why here is ending of these vessels, and they go from to the fingers. So that's why everywhere where it's ending, that's why people sometimes have Raynaud's, because that's the ending of the our like the hands. Men's have it in the in their penis, and all these endings when we are having. So there's the head, the hands, and yeah, that's as well. So nose and eyes and kidneys as well. So that's something that it needs deep work and some testing as well. But I don't know what else really avoid. I know that you have to go out, but managing the weather is hard. But don't go out if it's really freezing.
And about like in like adding meat, like if you haven't like eaten it for a long time, I mean, does it support the inflammatory process, or does it decrease the inflammatory process
Say it
normally?
again. Meat.
Yeah, meat and yeah, like if you're not like used to eating it, or
It's
in general maybe.
again, it's very individual, very individual. That's why we have to look at always a personalized, precise medicine is the future for all of us, because it's like, as I said, some people can be well off with meat and some people not. Like I tried myself as well. I want to be vegetarian, even I would be vegan, but I can't be that because I will lose all my muscles. And by the way, my ancestors, they were not vegetarian, they just ate meat. So it makes sense for me that I'm built that way. And I don't want to kill animal, but if I have animal, I'm really grateful that, like, thanks to animal, we can survive. So it's very difficult. It's always the best is really to do some testing. If that's the case, and that's the fine tuning, should I eat this or that, you will find out if you really do some deep testing, and you will find answer there. Testing like
What
how is your minerals, how is your omega-3 omega-6 ratio, and so on, if you have insulin resistance and things like that.
and is there a test to find out if you like do better on meat or without meat?
Oh yeah, there will be. I would look at B12. I would look at, like, I can write something for you, Antonia, if you want.
That would be great. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you one more thing about the liver cleansing. Should you also do that like at the same time, like always? Is that always a good idea, or yeah,
What do you mean liver cleansing? Like with some supplements, or?
exactly, with some supplements and teas and things like that. Is that
So
always good?
supplements, I don't know which supplements, but which one you mean. But with teas, yeah, I mean the tea you can drink, you can start today. Like the mixture that I shared, that you can start doing today. I'm sure some of you already doing it. So that's something that, and the liver detoxifying every day if you want or not. It's just that we can support it with these cruciferous vegetables, not eating these sugars and carbohydrates, not having alcohol. So it's like those are the things that we should be doing anyway. And then some people, they have good experience at some supplementing. I believe that we have to kind of declutter first and then support it. So it all depends. But yeah, I mean, we have to use the liver every day too, because that's the big detoxifying organ. So I would start doing the teas and really watch the diet that really can interfere and really put a burden on the liver as such, like as I said, all the big triggers, because insulin resistance sits in the liver. So that's why vegan, because they have, they eat a lot of carbohydrates, they can have a problem there. But yeah, I think like liver detox, it can be done together with the gut health. I would not take like supplements for both, not at all, but you can, behave and eat food that can support both for sure. We have to protect the liver every day.
It's like with milk thistle and all of these herbal mixtures, sometimes, or I get very bloated from it. Like, I can do nettle, that what I figured out, maybe lemon balm, but even like I'm also to herbal teas, unfortunately, a bit reactive at the moment. So
yeah, so there you have it. You have to always, see the sign, because that's same like with the sauerkraut, that needs to be work done. If we cannot tolerate something, we have to look at it closely, and especially if it's food related, that it's always kind of gut issue. So we have to go there and explore, and really, like at this point, really do testing, like what is in gut microbiome, how much is the zonulin, like the leaky gut, and all this, because that can really help us understand how bad it is and how much work needs to be done, because then the supplements can really help with the good food, obviously. So yeah, I hope that helped.
Because I tried to contact this one doctor, but he doesn't have time until July that we talked about. But yeah, so I'm trying to find. But the other question would be, if you're starting, for example, to eat meat or bone broth, how long is it rational to feel worse, like after, until you get better? Like how long? Like if you don't immediately feel really good or good.
So the thing is, doesn't work like that. So like I don't know anyone that would have a trigger after really this simple chicken soup. It's always kind of people experience like a calming effect it has on them in general. But you have to be careful. You have to really cook it just for 1 hour, even less, like 45 minutes, because then you have, and that's why like the recipes for the bone broth, but we always want the organs in from the animal, because that's where the beneficial like amino acids are and all the nutrients. And then as well the bones with the meat on it, because we need all these compounds, the gelatin, the collagen, the cysteine, all these amino acids that are really in this joint, so we can have benefits, because those are the building blocks to really help us to build better the gut lining. And I'm telling you, there's a ton of research, people having supplements from bone broth and all these collagens. I am still, yes, I sometimes use it as well if I didn't have time to cook a soup, but main should be really from the natural source. I'm really not big believer in a process. We go for unhealthy process to healthy process. Like, what's the point? We have to go back and really experience cooking as a self-care, and really preparing the food for us, for our, it's like, we're taking care of outside, we're going to a head restaurant, like why are we not taking care of the inside? We need to take care on the inside. So that's why cooking, and I think don't be scared of the chicken soup. Again, I can't advise you anything, as you know, but as well, this, if you want, buy the book from this gut psychology syndrome, and you would know, she built all her praxis on that, and she's healing gut with the chicken soup. Really, that's her story. So, and I experience, I'm telling you, if I have if I have a chicken soup like whole week as a you know, like spring detox or something. You can't call it detox, sorry, I'm taking back. I don't want to misuse this word, but I have like a cleanse, and I will use the soup, and I just then I feel so good, and you can see it on the skin. Like my husband's like, your skin looks good. I know it's the chicken soup. And the important is as well, put the feet in there. You know, it's a little bit gross for some people, but that's what we need, because you can't really make a chicken soup from the chicken that was like kind of, you know, full of hormones and full of antibiotics. And I have to excuse myself. I have to go pick up kids now. 3 o'clock. But if you have any questions, anybody, if you have any questions, I will be still in the group. So put it down here, and I will come back to it, and I will make sure that every question is answered.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Really, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, Sarah.